The 1.0 version of Starsand Island is officially here, and it's packed with content for new and returning players to enjoy. So with plenty of updates for you to discover, here's what you need to know. Hello friends, Sarah Sunstone here, and welcome back to Wish I Knew. In today's episode, I'll be guiding you through all the new content in the full 1.0 version of Starsand Island, which is out now on Steam, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and the Nintendo Switch 2. This is the biggest update since the game first launched into early access, introducing tons of new features and improvements. So it is the perfect time to get back into the game or try it out for the first time. Thank you so much to Seed Sparkle Lab for taking care of creators like me and very kindly sponsoring today's video. And now, without any further ado, let's get right into it. Now, first and foremost, Starsand Island's 1.0 version introduces online multiplayer gameplay, supporting up to 4 total players. The multiplayer features function as an island visit system, so you can drop in and out from visiting your friends' islands, and of course also host and invite players over to your own island. Now currently you'll need to build the Starsand station to actually unlock multiplayer, at which point a new app will be added to your in-game phone. Here, you can set up and customize multiplayer gameplay sessions to your liking. And let me just tell you, there are so many different features and permissions you can set separately here, which I personally really appreciate. Now, to start off with, there's a few different ways you can set up your play session. You can have it open for anyone to join, but you can also have an apply to join setup, so someone will actually have to request to join your play session, or you can use an island code. And this is what I personally used for my first play session with some of you guys in multiplayer. If you select this setting, once you actually click to open your island, you'll get a little join code up here that players can enter to gain access to your island. Essentially, think of it as a password. You can also pick which server you'd like to use, so that'll be up to you depending on where you and your friends are located in the world. And then here we get into some of the settings. So this is where I just appreciate the attention to detail here so much. So all of these can be either enabled or you can disable them if you don't want to allow certain things to be done by the visitors to your island. So I personally just have everything enabled because for me, it's like the more we can do together, the better, but it's totally up to you and your comfort level. So here we have build mode, so whether or not you'd like visitors to be able to decorate on your island. You can also choose whether or not you want folks to be able to access your personal storage, so basically any of the storage chests. If you do close off your personal storage, one kind of in-between solution you can use is the shared depot. So I'm actually going to show you what this looks like once I open a play session. Okay, so I actually just opened a multiplayer session, and at the top of the screen you can see all sorts of little icons. The first one looks like a little barn. If you press X to open that, it's actually going to open a shared depot. So then you can deposit items in here that you're okay to share without having people be able to actually go into your storage. Again, I personally just had a shared storage system so anyone could access any of these bins, deposit stuff, or take stuff if they needed it for something, because I'm hoping to have this be a very collaborative plot that we can work on together over time. But they're definitely giving you lots of options for how you want to set this up. Another thing you can do if you don't want either of those open, you can also drop things specifically for your friends to pick up. So if you right-click on an item from your backpack and you click discard, it's actually going to be dropped. So it's not going to get thrown out. It's going to be dropped on the ground, and then your friends can pick that up. So that's another way to share resources when you're playing with friends. And on that note, back to the multiplayer permissions. You can also enable or disable the ability to pick up items, use mining tools, cutting tools, and tilling tools specifically. So think like a pickaxe, an axe, and a hoe. For the crafting section, you can enable or disable access to your crafters. So if you prefer for your friends to not be able to use your processing machines, you can disable this. But again, I just have it on because then we can all work on projects together. Similarly, for the robot terminals, you can allow or disallow access to those. In terms of farming, you can also set permissions very specifically for planting, managing animal shelters, shearing animals, milking animals, using breeding facilities, and using the auto milker. So again, as you can see here, there's very specific things you can enable or disable, so you can set it up in a way that is just perfect for you. And then finally, for the fishing and hunting section, you can enable or disable the use of fish ponds, fish traps, capturing stunned animals. So this is when you're chopping down like trees and bushes. On occasion, those will drop stunned animals, so like a little bunny or a little duckling. If you disable this, then visitors won't be able to capture those stunned animals, but if you enable it, then they can. There's also permissions for access to bug traps and for bait holders. So again, I just love how many different options are included here, so you can really set things up in a way that aligns with your own goals, as well as your group's goals, your preferences, and your comfort level. And it's so great because the multiplayer in Starsand Island is very feature-rich, meaning there's honestly very little that you can't do with friends. Though this will, of course, somewhat depend on how the host has set up their island permissions, just based off of everything we've already covered. So you can participate in every profession-based activity together, including crafting, farming, fishing, adventuring, and ranching. Plus, you can also decorate together if permissions allowed, and you can explore the island as a group, which is super, super fun. You can also visit the Moonlit Forest to gather resources and defeat bosses together. And how this actually works is that the host will select the checkpoint where they'd like to teleport to, and then once all the other players in the session accept the request, the group will load in together. It is worth noting that you will need to return to Starsand Island to actually have new players join the session. So if you have any difficulties where you're in the Moonlit Forest and you have a friend that can't join in, you will just need to return to Starsand Island first, and that should solve the problem. As for resources, all players can gather everything, and you can share what you've collected. So again, if it's allowed on the island, you can share items through the host chest, the shared depot, or by dropping the items from your bag to the ground so they can be collected by others. For visitors, you can actually bring items back with you to your island, so there's many ways you can progress your own individual gameplay when you're also playing with a group. It's also super easy to keep track of your friends, because little icons will show up above their characters' heads, so you can spot them off in the distance. And you can also reference the map at any time to see where everyone is at any given moment. And on the topic of getting around, you can also use mounts in multiplayer. So it does seem that players can summon whichever mounts they've collected while they're visiting, but you won't be able to take control of someone else's mount or rent out mounts on another person's island. You do have to be the host to do this specifically. But a great workaround for this is to ensure that you have a mount unlocked that can accommodate multiple players, so that you can actually still drive around together and no one feels left out if they haven't unlocked any mounts themselves yet. This was actually one of the highlights for me playing with some of you, because we could all get around together and explore the island using different mounts. It was super chaotic in the best way. I was laughing nonstop, and it was a lot of fun. Another one of my favorite experiences was getting to finally use the game's amazing emotes together in multiplayer, especially the amazing dance routines. Another seemingly small but impactful highlight for me was just sharing those small moments together, like sitting down for a meal, watching the sunset, grabbing drinks together at the general store, and of course, taking lots and lots of photos to capture the moments. I previously mentioned that you can also decorate together, so this can include your home base as well as the other properties that you can acquire over time. And honestly, this was so exciting to me because the game features lots of awesome, interactable, and fun furniture items like carousels, slides, and even a Ferris wheel, just to name a few that I've unlocked so far. And you can physically go on all the rides together. You can go down the slide. You can actually have fun with them. So I'm definitely hoping to actually build a dedicated amusement park to enjoy in multiplayer, and maybe even set up some little obstacle courses, because I feel like this would be super fun. It's also awesome because you can progress aspects of your own gameplay while you're on another person's island, like the profession quests, for example, that can be worked on in multiplayer for both the host and the visitor. Visitors can also access the island shops with independent save data, so you'll be able to spend your earned gold and won't be taking from the host's balance. You can also accept resident commissions while visiting another island, and carry any friendship progress earned on a friend's island back to your own world. As for the host, you can still work on your island life progression when you have friends over. So these tasks here. And you can also visit the buy land category and actually expand your land. So you can purchase land expansions while you have friends over, and you can also purchase access to entirely new land. This is really great because it's not a case where you need to send everyone home to actually make these big game changes. You're also rewarded when you play multiplayer with an exclusive currency called multiplayer points, and these are earned every 10 minutes of playtime. Further, the more players there are who are involved in a play session, the more points you'll earn. But for those of you who are only planning to play in single player, you can actually still earn this currency when multiplayer is enabled in single player mode. So even though I'm playing by myself right now, I do technically have a multiplayer session open, and I have been earning multiplayer currency while I've been recording this video. So to spend that currency, you can actually go to this new shop app, which is found in your in-game phone. And you'll get to see all sorts of special items that have been newly added with this version of the game. So there's all sorts of special blueprints here. So once you unlock one of these blueprints, you'll be able to craft as many as you'd like. We have an umbrella, a stool, a couple of lamps, and a chair. There's also this beautiful fountain, a flower pot, an end table, a stone lion. There's also some instruments. So there's an electric keyboard and a guitar. There's a new TV cabinet and a 3-seater sofa, also a coffee machine. And then the 3 that I redeemed first were the dolphin fountain blueprint, the courtyard landscape blueprint, and the Ferris wheel blueprint. I haven't crafted the Ferris wheel yet, but I have crafted the other 2. So this is the dolphin fountain. I love it. It's way bigger than I was expecting, but it's so extravagant. And then over here is the other fountain that I've crafted. But there's also other categories of items here too. So if you go over here, there are some new animal nests. So advanced rabbit hutch, advanced chicken coop, advanced duck coop, etc. These actually have roofs, which is really nice because I felt so bad for the rabbits before when it would be raining and there was no roof on their hutch. There's also some surprise seeds you can get, and these are almost all immortal seeds, meaning they're seeds that when you plant once, you will never need to plant them again. They will just continue to reproduce, basically lasting forever. But they are like random boxes, so that's kind of a fun way to do it. Similarly, they have some animal blind boxes. This is cool because you can open the blind box and get a random breed of rabbit, of chicken, of duck, so on and so forth with all the different animals. And there's even a chance of getting a king variant of each animal. So it is pretty cool. It's basically another way to unlock different variants of animals without actually breeding them. And then there's also a special rod section, so you can get some special fishing rods. There's the paradoxical fishing rod, which I have. And there's also the expert fishing rod, which I don't have unlocked yet, because as you can see, with these profession-specific categories of the shop, you will need to unlock the related level of profession to get this part of the shop unlocked as well. For this fishing rod, it seems to not turn red, so it doesn't threaten to snap, but you have to continuously reel it in to make the catch. Once you exchange your earned multiplayer points for any of these items, including the blueprints, you will actually need to go to your mailbox to get the item and redeem it there, so don't forget to do that. In the 1.0 version of Starsand Island, there's also an all-new autumn festival with some amazing themed decorations that totally transform the town. And the Pumpkin Carnival takes place for an entire in-game week from Autumn Day 22 until Autumn Day 28. This festival features a dedicated seasonal storyline and quest line, which involves accumulating candy, which can be traded for all sorts of exclusive items through 5 profession-specific activities as follows. When farming, you can purchase new seeds to grow jack-o'-lanterns and trade those jack-o'-lanterns for candy. For ranching, you can purchase festival-exclusive feed that actually allows animals to produce candy themselves, and also temporarily grow small devil wings. When fishing, you can catch special jellyfish in a variety of colors throughout the festival period, and again, these can be exchanged for candy. I absolutely love how these look. They're so fun to catch. For exploration, when you defeat monsters throughout the festival, you'll be rewarded with troublemaker crystals, which can be exchanged for candy. And finally, for the crafting profession, mining during the festival rewards something called Naughty Sprite crystals, which are very cool looking, very sparkly. And again, these can also be exchanged for candy. So as you accumulate candy through all these different sources, you can then exchange it at the Pumpkin House of Wonders for a huge variety of rewards. This includes clothing patterns, new cooking recipes that are so super cute. There are a ton of carnival-themed furniture blueprints as well. There's makeup, there's a Halloween construction manual, there's even some awesome emotes that I cannot wait to unlock and use in multiplayer, of course, and also tons of other decoration blueprints. I really love how this festival involves so many gameplay activities and lasts for a decent amount of time, so there's no rush in earning those candies and rewards. A little bonus tip here is that you can actually trick or treat from some of the islanders to get some extra candy. And it's also worth noting that seasonal events like this one can also be enjoyed in multiplayer. There are also some brand new items that have been added to the game, many of which can be acquired through the Starsand shop. Now, this shop does unlock in the community center after completing the Jack of all trades level of island progression, and here you can exchange your earned Starsand currency for a wide variety of exclusive items. There are a bunch of new DIY kits and furniture items, including some European-style building pieces, some modern-style building pieces, some flower cluster landscaping pieces, some cream-style furniture pieces, some classroom-themed furniture, some picnic-themed furniture, and also some seasonal king furniture. Another category of items encompasses new outfits for your character, another one of my favorite realms of the game. So there's some new surfing-themed clothing, there's a delivery uniform, there's a Dungwang-inspired outfit, and also the Great Sage set. And then there's some special items like exclusive mounts. This includes the Meow Express vehicle and the Cloud Surfer vehicle. Then there's also the Golden Cudgel tool you can unlock, there's some storage chests, and there's even an advanced pest-repelling scarecrow. So lots of goodies here. It does take a little bit of gameplay to actually get this unlocked, but once you do have it unlocked, you can access a ton of new items. Another realm of the game that has been improved with the 1.0 release is the relationship system, which now provides greater depth and new activities for all 14 romanceable characters. This includes new story events, which are available to be unlocked when reaching 3 hearts and 5 hearts with each romanceable character. Now, at both of these points of progression, you'll unlock new relationship quests to complete, with story events that explore each NPC's personality, their emotions, and their background. The dating system has also received some updates, with some expanded date activity types, including arcade dates, kite flying, picnics, and more. These expanded experiences will offer more varied interactions and opportunities to bond with the characters. Plus, actually 4 entirely new NPCs have been added, each with their own relationship progression, story content, and gift preferences. So you'll be able to spot these new characters on the map basically right away. You can track them down, introduce yourself, and they'll be added to your relationship interface. Finally, let's go over some of the other assorted features that have been added to the game, starting with weekly shop discounts. Now, these discounts are available at various shops around town and will rotate on a weekly basis, so you'll definitely want to check back frequently to see which items are on sale. These discounts are also linked to relationship levels that you've built with the romanceable NPCs, specifically the characters who run each shop respectively. These weekly shop discounts can be especially useful for G Powerbike, where you can actually save on some fairly pricey mounts. The discount at Orleaf Kitchen is super handy if you're looking to purchase specific foods offering helpful gameplay buffs. But depending on your gameplay goals and priorities, you can pick up some great discounts on all sorts of products, like profession-related supplies, to save on seeds, crafting materials, and more. Next, if you've ever had trouble completing a quest or just getting in touch with one of the local residents because they're often in their home, this has now been addressed with 1.0. So doorbells have now actually been added to the outside of NPC homes, which you can interact with to summon any of the NPCs found in the house at that time, reducing the need to actually wait for them to leave their houses before progressing those quests or in attempts to level up your friendship. Now, some updates have also been made to the photography features in Starsand Island. Specifically, you can actually now scrub freely through the animation frames of each emote to precisely customize your character's pose and capture that picture-perfect moment. Some other, perhaps seemingly small but actually super impactful updates include the added search function to makers, so you can search up exactly the item you're looking for. There's also now improved tracking for craftables, and my favorite, which is the addition of processing queues. Now with 1.0, you can queue up a series of projects in a row. So if you need to make a variety of different metal bars, for example, you can actually queue them all up at once to process automatically, rather than having to go back and forth from the crafter to collect previously processed items and fire up new ones. This is honestly going to be completely game-changing because a lot of craftable items require many different materials and many different steps. And a lot of the times, even with tracking, I would forget, okay, how many tin bars do I need? How many copper bars do I need? Now, if I know I need 5 of each, I can just queue up 5 of each right away, walk away, and let it cook. In addition to all of these updates and more, the 1.0 version also does include some major performance optimizations, localization improvements, and bug fixes. But the team has shared that they will be continuing to support the game, continuing to push patches, continuing to address feedback, and fix bugs. So there you have it, friends. I hope you enjoyed this look at many of Starsand Island's new features that have arrived with the 1.0 version. As a reminder, the game is now available on Steam, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and Nintendo Switch 2. Now, the Nintendo Switch 2 version does also support mouse function, which will allow you to build and decorate with greater precision and efficiency. Though, depending on when exactly you're watching this video, I will note that you might just want to wait on the Switch 2 version for now until it's been further patched and updated, and instead I would currently highly recommend the PC or PS5 versions of the game. But be sure to share your thoughts with me down in the comments. Which new feature with 1.0 is your favorite? For me, it just has to be multiplayer because it means I finally get to play this game with you guys, and so far it's been such an amazing experience. If you would like to see some extended multiplayer gameplay, I'll have my previous stream linked in the description for your reference so you can see a lot of what I was talking about in today's video. But I'm also a huge fan of the new festival and so many of the other new features and improvements. It's really difficult to just choose 1 or 2 things, but anything and everything, you know I always love hearing from you. I did also want to thank Seed Sparkle Lab again for very kindly sponsoring today's video. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and until next time, take care.